We are back. Part 2 of the Amphoreus tier list. Nova back with us for round 2 because we realized pretty early on Wednesday that we were not going to be able to rank all of these quests in one stream. And we're not going to waste too much more time and probably get straight into it. Before that, however, I was thinking about the last stream, and I did want to bring up one little thing that we didn't mention at all. It's not a big thing, but I just thought it was interesting to point out. We didn't really talk at all about 3.1 at the start, where Mighty, Trailblazer, and Dan Heng went to rescue Finon from Nikador's trial, and how in that scene, or in that trial, we actually got our, as I recall, first proper foreshadowing, and pretty direct foreshadowing, of the relationship between Finon and the Flame Reaver, which people were already speculating back then, but like now that I'm looking back at it, it was very on the nose. Do you remember what I'm talking about? When we were fighting, or like towards the end, like right before we meet up with Finon. When Finon lunges at Mighty, doesn't really stab him, but it looks like that at first because it cuts to a silhouette of Finon stabbing what should be Mighty, but it's Mighty's body with Finon's head.
Oh my god, that is Finon's head!
Yeah, right?
Oh my god!
And we learn later on that the person Finon thought he was fighting was the Flame Reaver. But yeah, that was about all. That's what we kind of like completely glossed over, and I completely forgot until like yesterday, and I was like at like 2 a.m. and I was like, wait, right.
That's so good. I never noticed that. That is so cool.
Yeah, that's really good foreshadowing. With that out of the way, I think we talked enough at length about these first 4 quests, and now we shall get on with the latter half of Amphoreus. Technically the latter half, although
with the big 3.4.
I think this is not even like up for debate, I think.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking highest cinema.
Straight to the top. Straight to the top.
Yeah, no, my god. Right, so it starts with us meeting back up with Dan Heng and then meeting Screwlum, who like gives us a quick rundown of what's happening, and then we split up and we go back to the Vortex after that. And then there's the March path space scene with Small Rainy.
And that's when we got our first peek at the Memo Snatchers being evil.
Yep.
Yeah, then we realized that was Caslana the whole time. That wasn't the Finon we know, and oh boy, we got our first look at how the Eternal Recurrence started. And Lygus talked about the cave for the first time, and I think this is the first time he actually mentions the cave.
True! First things first, heads up. I will apologize in advance because I think throughout this entire stream, I'm probably gonna go on a lot of tangents because 3.4 to 3.7 was very heavy on character interactions, and you know, that's my thing. So I am sorry in advance. Only to Nova, chat, you guys knew what you're here for. You signed up for this. But I'm probably gonna go off on a lot of like lengthy tangents about that stuff when we get to it.
I mean, well, yeah, because you're the character interactions person, I'm the lore person. So.
Yeah. And we got both. We got plenty of both. Okay, yes, you know what? We're gonna go with this. Favorite parts of the quest.
My favorite part was Lygus telling Cyrene and Finon their code names. That was so big because it's such a character moment for me, a character and lore moment for me for Lygus, because his arrogance always gets him in trouble. It's like he'll be right at the very end and then he'll get arrogant and he'll lose everything.
It's like, brother, you just have to shut up.
It's the same thing. He messes up at the last moment. It's the same thing with the Stellaron later on. It's like he gets arrogant at the very last moment low-key, and he ruins everything.
It's kind of funny because I remember playing through that part, and like at the end of this, you know, when Cyrene and Caslana decide, you know, on their plan, the Eternal Recurrence and stuff, and I'm sitting there like thinking about Lygus, and I'm like, they were about to do what you wanted them to do. You just had to shut your mouth.
All you had to do was not talk. Yeah.
You were about to be done. It is great because, you know, of course, Lygus is a very intelligent man, but he's also a little stupid. Like, kind of what Sarita points out in 3.5, right? Like they're like her and Lycus are both very arrogant, and very proud, but she will never be blinded by her pride.
Oh, another good moment was we finally saw the first time Finan and Mighty met. That was cool.
That was really cool, yeah. Like the very, very first time. And how like hostile they were towards each other at first. Yeah. I still think it's very...
His little card thing and everything, and that was
the deliverer card. I still think it's very fun, very interesting that Mighty's, like, what Mighty put in the ring, put on the scale was the signet ring, which, you know, the thing that in 3.1, Finan asks Cartonos and people to dig out of the River of Souls and give to him. The entire journey of Kaslana and Cyrene in the first, or I guess it is the 0th, like the first cycle, the 0th recurrence. It took me a second to get the hang of like the recurrences and the actual cycles, especially like when like later on it gets like to the like we get to the bad stuff, the don't worry it gets worse parts. And instead of like on the one end it says like so and so eternal occurrence, and then you have like that like really like epic dramatic transition as like 1 million so and so occurrences until the end of the world. I'm like, okay, so we're going backwards now? We're going forward, we're also going backwards? I'm like, okay, that's gonna take me a minute. I was also streaming the whole thing in one go. I was live for 7 hours, so I'm that as well. So
yeah,
it took
that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was so locked in. And like genuinely, it's been about a week since 3.7, and I think I've mostly like processed everything. Also like character-wise and stuff. 3.4 took me at least like 2 to 3 weeks to fully be like, okay, all of this happened, especially because like I already loved Finan before. That patch, my god.
The voice acting, everything.
The voice acting was so good. And like genuinely, tangent number 1. And I've talked about this with my chat and my folks many times before, how when it comes to like character interactions, the main reason like why I value those so much is because they can tell you so much more about a character and shape a character's personality. And Finan is the prime example of that, because at first we had like 2 main instances or segments of Finan interacting with the Chrysos heirs. The first one was when we had all those memory fragments, the optional memory fragments that you could go through one by one and see how every Chrysos heir in one way or another almost made it to the end with Finan before they too had to leave. And you can see how like with every Chrysos heir it's a little different, right? You have like characters, a lot of them who manage to make it almost to the end, but it's still Finan still has to keep going while they need to go back and fend off the Black Tide or try to stall the Flame Reaver or whichever it is. And like you have for example Finan and Cypher, who from the get-go have never been very close to begin with. And the Cypher, I think, I don't recall where exactly it's mentioned, but like that Cypher always, or for the longest time, has been a little like hostile or I guess jealous of Finan because they were both raised by Aglaya, and Finan was like the golden child. And she, for obvious reasons, couldn't really spend much time with her to begin with from a certain point onward. And them having that like a little more distant dynamic, but still there's that mutual respect. Same with Castor.
Thought of it that way. That's interesting.
And Castor, the two of them, they were friends. They knew how it's gonna go. Finan with the Treeby doll. It was so fucking sad. It is Finan with the Treeby doll and Finan with little Ika. And like Hyacinth wasn't even there. Hyacinth was
Hyacinth never made it.
She never even made it. And then you have little Ika there and the dudes of depression telling Finan to like go on without him.
Dudes of depression.
And then you have of course Mighty, obviously. Mighty's one does stick out to me in particular because, one, my personal very bias, because, fun fact about the Mighty and Finan recurrence. Their recurrence. If you look up the number 2691, in Greek, that number translates to be overcome by desire, sensual or sexual desire.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, little on the nose.
Going crazy about that.
Yeah, little on the nose. I had to look up that up myself because I didn't even believe it at first. I was like, surely people are just like misinterpreting something there, but nope,
like, there's a number for that?
There is a number for that, yeah. Like I had to look that up because
those people back in the day.
Yeah, because I was like, there's no way. Like that'd be too out there, but nope. that straight up, that's what it is. But also the fact that with Mighty, we had two people where Finon's resolve showed a little bit of like, he faltered a little bit. One was with Aglaya, where they were both there and Finon was like, well, you're still here, so maybe the prophecy is not going to come to pass after all, you know, if you can still be here. But Aglaya immediately tells him that no, she needs to go back out, it's gonna end the same way. And then with Mighty, where Finon is quite literally begging him to witness the Era Nova with him to try and go against the prophecy, and of course Mighty's like, nope, no can do. Broke me in several ways, that scene. And I also love Anaxa's very much. Anaxa, at that point, living rent-free in Finon's head for a change.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know how they managed that.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just like a thing with reason. One demigod or one titan always has to inhabit someone else's brain for a little bit. But then like at the end, there was also that open acknowledgement that Anaxa doesn't give a lot. That he's like honored to be there with Finon at the end. Which I still think is funny, because despite like all the Finon slander that Anaxa freely hands out, he has still stated that Finon was his favorite student, which is really fucking sweet.
You would think it'd be Hyacinth, you know? Like
you would think, and of course, like he cherishes all of them. But you know, like Finon just has that something. Like Finon is like the kind of student that causes trouble. Maybe not the best at everything, or you know, a little bit of a problem student, but it's like very affectionate. Like you can't help but love him and care about him.
Anaxa has a soft spot for Aglaya's son. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that he was talking to a Tribi doll. That is so sad.
You didn't? Oh my god.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, no, because we didn't actually.
I was like, wait, Tribi never made it?
No.
Like, and this one he's just by himself. Who was he talking to?
Yeah, because like he says,
oh, you can't speak anymore.
Exactly.
I didn't realize that was. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. The fact that they made all of that optional, on the one hand, I get it, but on the other, like, how do you skip that? Because, like, to me, it was just, again, I always love seeing Finon interact in one way or another with the other Crisis heirs, because it's so, like, sometimes the differences are more subtle, but all of their relationships, even the more distant ones, are still very fleshed out. As I mentioned, like Cypher and Finon, who both children of Aglaya, but in very different positions. And they've never had a chance to really bond over anything until now. But despite everything, they still worked together. They still had that, like, underlying trust and respect when it counted.
Also, was there not a Hycelins one? Did he not ever make it to the end with Hycelins?
No, actually. At that point...
You know why that is?
Why?
Because we do.
That's a fair point. To be fair, I think one thing may also have been, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they did it, is just because we didn't really know Hycelins at that point, although I still think it would have been nice.
She shows up.
She shows up.
The first patch she shows up.
Yeah, she shows up later on, or she shows up when, you know, the recurrences begin, but in the, there's no memory fragment with her, which I think we could have gotten, honestly, if there had been one time in the 33 million plus times where she did make it to the end with him, just to give us an earlier introduction. Because I think one thing that Hycelins and Saridra kind of suffered from a little bit, even though it made sense, was them basically being introduced in one patch, in their release patch, and we didn't really hear or see much, if anything.
They immediately died.
Yeah, like, it is unfortunate that they kind of got the short end of the stick there, even though it does make sense. But I do wish that, like, at least in snippets, like, or like little flashbacks or something, we could have gotten more of at least Hycelins, you know, because we've heard about her in 3.3 already. And then we met her once in 3.4, so they could have done something with that, I think, in my opinion.
We got plenty of her later on, though.
We did, thankfully.
Saridra too.
Yeah, Saridra too. But more on that.
Oh, yeah, he never made it to the end with Saridra either, did he?
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, Saridra always...
It's not shown.
It's not shown, yeah. And to be fair, Saridra always, or... It is said that, like, at least a lot of the time, she just died very early on. And Aglaya then took up the mantle.
She became a demigod, made her law change, and died. Like, that's...
Yeah. That's like an Anaxa move. Just onto the stage, do your thing, do not elaborate, leave.
Oh yeah, Terravox. He never made it to the end with Terravox either.
True.
That'd be funny if he just showed up with a giant Dromus. Vortex. Genesis.
That'd be so fun.
Terrorbox doesn't even fit on the screen.
Just blocks you. You see the little feet and find out like fucking craning his neck to look up. That'd be so funny. Yeah, that was an interesting question, actually. When Amphoreus returns, or like becomes a real planet, are we getting Treebios, or are we getting the split Treebies? Are we getting one Treebios, or are we getting 1,000 little Treebies?
I think we're just gonna get the 3.
I think so, yeah. Because that's
all Cyrene experienced.
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
think Cyrene ever experienced Treebios.
I think it'll be fun to like go back to Amphoreus and we're back with 1,000 Treebs.
I feel like that's implied with what happens in the Saridra story, because when it says the Emperor, when they were running around saying the Imperator is fallen, the Imperator is fallen, those were all the same model of Treebi.
Yeah, but they were supposed to be like many of them.
Yeah, I feel like it was supposed to be more than just the 3 there, because otherwise they just would have used Trinan and Trian.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, there was also the scene where everything was still fine. Everything was still good and wholesome, and they were in the Membrance Maze. And we had Cyrene doing her tarot card reading, and we met with the future versions, if I recall. It's a little weird. That was a little weird. Like the other Chrysos heirs.
That was a weird section.
Yeah, because like I think they said like it would be the future version, like futures. But I was like, I don't know. And
everything
whole,
involving the fairies gets weird.
Yeah. And like asking all the Chrysos heirs about their wishes, which, once again, Phynon asking about everyone else's wishes, but what about his own? Who cares? Not him.
His wish is to fulfill everyone else's wishes.
And
that's why in this trailer he says all I want is, and then it just cuts off.
Never finishes that sentence.
I think the whole portrayal of the eternal recurrence is done super duper well.
It is done so well. Especially,
it's a little confusing, but
it's a little confusing at first.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense when you like actually like look back and think on it.
Yeah, usually what I tell myself when it comes to like confusion, when it comes to like HSR lore or Hoyo lore, I'm like, if I don't get it the first time, that's fair. I've always been bad at like literary devices and stuff, and like picking up on metaphors and whatnot or other things. It always took me a second. Second time, okay. If I don't get it by the third time, then something might be a little wonky here.
If I don't understand 80% of what happened by the end, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I read this stuff way too much to not understand everything.
Yeah, like you have the brain for that.
And also, it's like I take notes as I play the story.
True. Yeah, I don't. So there's that as well.
There's the eternal recurrences where you see like snippets of moments where like Phynon has to like he talks to Anaxa.
Yep. That would have been the next thing.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I've seen this already. I know what you're about to say. It's like, yeah. But it's also a testament to how smart this guy is. He was able to remember all of that. And these are like 1,000, like every eternal recurrence is like 1,000 years.
Times 134. And if we're moving on to that whole section, number 1, as I've said, Coronal Radiance, or actually, I think we have an official name for that theme now. I'm still gonna probably call it Coronal Radiance, because that's just in my mind now. But the fact that theme kept playing the entire time, and the way it started as well. Like, we had the black screen, and I heard the do, and I was like, I know those notes. I can play those notes. I know those fucking notes. Don't you do this to me.
Oh no.
And there's one scene, like very early on, when we have Phynon or Kazlana and Cyrene staring up at the sky again. And there is one line that, something about that gets me, is when we see the black tide, and Phynon like sighs, or it has like a dot, and Cyrene immediately follows it up with, "Is that Amphoreus crying?" Something about that sequence of events where like she probably meant Amphoreus, but I don't know. There's something about that always sticks in my mind. And after that we start the recurrences, and again, just like with the memory fragments, we have several interactions with the heirs that all play out a little differently. We have Aglaia, Treebi, and Hycelens, where at first everything, like the plan is to make everything go peacefully, you know. Give Kazlana the core flames, maybe things will change. They didn't. Kazlana killed himself. In that moment, that was a very sad line, but it is a little funny, like out of context. And then we have the admin logs as well, where over time, like at first, where Phynon actively tries not to let his friends and his companions be like die, and then at some point he just stops caring, or not really stops caring, but like he just numbs to it, yeah, and he just goes through the motion.
His mind starts to go.
Yeah, dude. And then Lygus with the fucking admin notes. No more notes about mind degradation. I'm like, go fuck yourself. That's your you did that. And he's just like, yeah, don't worry about that. I don't care.
He really didn't either.
He did not.
It's just it was just a procedure for him.
Yeah, like the apathy towards it.
Apathy, yes. It's like he just didn't care. It was just, yeah, I'll just wait until he breaks.
Next one, all right. I mean, if anything, that was a good thing for him, probably, because at some point he was hoping for Kazlana to crack, which he never did. Fucking king shit.
Never did.
Yeah, we had Aglaia tribute High Sealants, then we move on to Cypher and Anaxa, where we see that, like, for the first time, or not for the first time, but that we see something actually happens that even Kazlana at that point had not experienced yet, with Anaxa calling him out and sending Cypher off, or telling him to stand aside, and actually confronting him, which also really reinforces, like, Anaxa's, like, even if they didn't really know each other, he is still Phynon's teacher, and at the end of the day, even if he didn't know that Kazlana, he still recognized, like, how much Kazlana was suffering, how much he was putting him through, and he was like, for old time's sake, turn back. And the thing is about that interaction, like, neither of them were wrong. Kazlana wasn't wrong in, like, thinking that he couldn't stop, he literally couldn't, or it would all be over. But Anaxa also had a point from his perspective where surely there had to be another way or another possibility, because what Kazlana was doing, from their limited knowledge, wasn't working. And in a way, it wasn't, because he was just stalling. He had to stall. So they both had a point there. And that's also where we really see, like, Phynon really, like, starting to crack. Because he's not putting up with any of Zagreus' bullshit anymore. He's like, listen, you have one chance. You have one chance. That's it.
And then Cypher says something, and then he's like, yeah, this is going down the bad road. I already know where this is going.
Yeah, he's like, well, I tried.
It's like he sees the dialogue trees.
Yeah, dude. The illusion of choice.
Well, if you say option A, you'll live. But if you say option B, you won't. You said option B. Well.
Yeah, and even then, because it was like, she was like, will you take my core flame now? And he did say in the cycles where she's asked this question, it's like things have never gone badly, but that was the one time where, despite asking the same thing, she persisted, and they tried to fight him, and at the end of the day, it was still the same thing all over again.
Another thing I think is cool here is when he does the miracle to bring Zagreus back to where he was.
Yeah, like at that point,
he started learning other demigod abilities.
Yeah, like 1,000 core flames later. Yeah, he would.
So sick, because it was always like a wonder. Is like, how does the Flame Reaver know how to, like, teleport himself in and out of?
Yeah, he's had the time to learn.
Because he learned the Sentry Gate.
Yeah.
And he learned something else he learned too. I forgot what it was.
Same,
but
I
remember making like a whole point where I was like, he learned the Sentry Gate, and whenever he sees these abilities, he gets better at dealing with them.
Yeah. Like, at some point, he just learns. He knows Cypher's clones. True. That's
what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, then the next couple, we have Mighty, obviously, which is still very interesting, because even as they are in those recurrences, or in that one we saw, they are still enemies. They never had the chance to, like, really grow close. But even then, they have their duel, and still at the very end, number one, Mighty still recognizes that despite everything that's happening, there is still a part of Phynon. Like, there's still a trace of humanity and, like, as he phrases it, tenderness left in him. Because Phynon is still trying. He doesn't want to forget what it feels like to kill everyone he loves. Like, he needs to remember how that feels. And even at the end of it all, when they have their duel, Mighty, as he does, is like, he goes all in, is enjoying himself. And at the end of it all, he still wishes Phynon eternal victory. Despite everything. He's like, in the next life, I will still be there. I'll still be trying to stop you. But I still hope that whatever you're doing, you succeed.
Yeah.
Then we have Casterus trying to put him to rest.
Reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, whatever you're doing now is far too cruel for you. At least death would give you some sort of like rest in some capacity.
That's what's really cool. Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think
fine.
this is really interesting, and I don't want to forget. At no point during any of these eternal recurrences did Finon ever, did Castellana ever touch Castorus.
True.
That means he fought her these many times.
My God, that's
He
right.
ever make physical contact.
That's right.
That is insane.
I never thought of that. That is insane. And God, her calling him, what was it? A broken idol, tragic firewood. Like the perfect descriptions for him. He kills her as well. And like from Mighty onward, you also see like the hallucinations of not hallucinations and also just like memories of him killing them over and over. The echoes of their voices, you know, what they've said to him. And Hyacinth was a really bad one because
Hyacinth scarred me for life.
even as she was being corrupted,
God.
in her eyes, Finon was a patient in need of help, and she still wanted to cure him despite herself already being at her wit's end. And the funny thing about that is, not the funny thing, I say funny thing. If you go to I forgot where exactly it is. I'm gonna call it Cyreni's fanfics. The little stories in like 3.7 that we get, or 3.6 as well, of like different cycles, different scenarios and stuff. There is one story where, you know how in 3.4 Hyacinth, I forget like the exact thing she says, but she's like, she recognized that there's like a flicker of something left in Castellana, and she's like, don't let it go, like don't let that fade, don't let that go out. And she's like still trying to somehow like talk some not sense into him, but you know, talk to him, communicate with him. That very next recurrence, instead of Castellana or the Flame Reaver going to Aedes Elysiae and just wrecking everything, he meets with the Finon of that period, and he protects him, and he protects Aedes Elysiae from the Black Tide. For that one cycle, he stands with humanity again. For that one cycle, that flame inside of him was not hollow. For one cycle, he took Hyacinth's advice.
I don't remember a lot of the recurrences. I kind of went numb with Finon at this point. Like,
yeah, no,
I was like, okay, I get it. He's gonna kill everyone again. I get it. Please stop hurting me.
See, and I was like, I get it. He's gonna kill everyone. Keep going. Keep fucking going.
The line that Hyacinth says though is, the part of that warmth that should come from you, from an ordinary person, is so faint. That's what she says. Yeah, and then and then he actually in the next cycle takes her words to heart and just for once actually protects little Castellana, little Finon, and Aedes Elysiae. It's so bittersweet. We didn't mention it, but 4 millionth recurrence where he realizes that he can't keep going as himself. He has to keep passing on the torch every time, transfer his memories to the next Castellana, to the next Finon, and just keep the cycle going that way. But yeah, the Hyacinth one was brutal. The way that she screams. Oh.
God.
Oh, the way she screams. Oh,
dude.
I think that blood curdling.
Yeah, no, that was a good one to end on. It was a good one to end on with that, to end that agony on. And then we go back to the final recurrence, or the 36th one where we are there. And Castellana passes the torch on to us while he goes and fucking experiences a generational crash out that is absolutely deserved. Which, by the way, before that, we also have the conversation with him and Lygus, where they talk, and Finon absolutely rips into him. He absolutely tears him apart. Awesome. Some of those lines he drops there, the score, 33,550,336 to 0, and talking about being tired. What was it? Being tired of being measured against a worm the gods keep as a pet? That was such a fucking brutal line.
He dropped so many lines.
He dropped so many.
He was like, oh, you say I'm the prisoner.
Yeah, no, who is the real prisoner here?
You're my prisoner, because
I'm not trapped in here with you.
Stop.
You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah.
And then after that, after he cuts his head off again, which it doesn't do anything, but it feels good, directly addressing Nanook and be like, Nanook, you arrogant fool. That direct fuck you towards the destruction.
It's like you're playing a game and you keep messing with this one character over and over and over again in your game. And then the game turns and looks at you through your screen and just says, screw you. Like, and then reaches out of the screen.
And not even that. They're not like, screw you. They're like, screw everything you believe in.
Yeah, basically.
Like, he did, like, it's not like a character coming to life and scratching you. It is scratching the very god you believe in. It is so wild. And yeah, of course, we know that both of those fights were real, or both Nanook and Zephyro were very real. They were there.
I got so much heat for telling people that it was, because no one believed me.
Yeah, no, abso-fucking-lutely.
Confirmed.
Like, I get the slight doubt with Zephyro, because Zephyro still had, like, the black tie glitchy thing going on, but Nanook, that was pretty clear.
I feel like that was an antimatter thing, though. Like he kind of, like, glitches, because he's like Nihility, right? So
yeah,
like,
could very well be.
Does
yeah,
glitch through existence.
And like the black tide and everything, like it is still at the end of the day like a product of destruction. So yeah,
I love that this place is the Warforged though. Like this makes perfect sense why he would end up being here. I still think he's gonna be a Lord Ravager.
Absolutely,
I still think he's gonna be a Lord Ravager
because we have the note from Zephyro, and we have that one Scepter entry where it talks about the world cleansing blood, and it talks about how that drop of blood, that blessing from Nanook, that was in possession of Nico / Kazlana, is of a similar power to that of an emanator of destruction. And just because Kazlana doesn't have it anymore doesn't mean it's gone. Like I doubt, even if
he still has it. It went back to him in the last cutscene.
Yeah, but
it went out of us and then back into him. Yeah,
but that drop of blood, he did give it away. Like it's currently in the custody of Planet Scrollum in the Alliance. But even then, like it's not like you can just go, I don't want it, take it. Like the physical matter of it, sure, might be gone. But Finite still has Nanook's blessing. I doubt it would just be as easy as just getting rid of it.
The fact that he walked through galaxies, like this dude.
My God.
How many worlds did he destroy?
I mean, to be fair, at least it was probably a quick death.
He already dwarfed Phantilia in terms of feats. Like, I guarantee you, Phantilia has never done anything that bad. Like,
yeah, no.
I don't even think she's capable of doing anything close to that level of destruction.
That does mean the Warforged itself is in the path space that the Scepter log is to be believed. Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
That makes all the sense, actually.
Okay, anything else about 3.4? I had a feeling we were going to linger on this one the longest.
Oh, for sure. Cyrene becoming fusing with Ripples of Past Reverie.
Right. We have the admin notes and stuff. All right. Yeah, no fucking question, no doubt, not up to debate. Highest cinema, straight up.
It's peak.
Absolutely peak.
It's peak, I fear.
It is indeed peak. All right, next one, 3.5. This one
should be a little bit shorter, but it's...
Yeah. I have heard many opinions about this one. And
really?
I feel like I've heard a lot of people say that this was the weakest patch, which I kind of disagree with. It was not as strong as, like, the peak of the peak, but it was still, like, very good in my opinion. Overall good, had some rough patches.
It did drag in some sections.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Like, I think for the most part, I think it was very good. Like, we had, you know, more lore. We learned about and entered the Exomyth, more Lygus, Yap. Which, by the way, I think one important thing to mention is, like, when it comes to, like, the length of quests, sometimes what influences how much a scene drags on, it's not just the scene itself, it's also the voice acting. And listen, all the credit
way the characters talk,
exactly.
Yeah.
Blythe does amazing, and he does amazing. But God, Lygus talking like so slow and taking his time in English is infuriating. But that's what makes it work.
And he's got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Like props.
It's literally his character.
For sure, like props to Blythe, but it was so agonizing. So that also plays.
It was mainly with that time when he was talking to High Ceilings. That's when it really started to get bad.
And I'm like, buddy, put the cave in the bag. We gotta move on.
Put the cave in the bag.
Yeah, we meet High Ceilings, we meet Ceridra. This time they know about things happening beyond the sky. Did you suspect Ceridra at the start?
I was thinking, because like I had already read about her up until this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, she isn't stupid. I'm pretty sure she knows that Lygus is evil. But she was playing it up good. Like she kind of fooled me for a little bit.
She's a good actor.
Like, does she know?
I was playing through that quest, and like pretty much the entire time, I was like, this is another Anaxa situation. She is not on Lygus' side. She might not even be on our side before she has all the facts. Yeah. So I was like, no, any second now it's gonna turn. And the second, like, she called out Hycelins when we were snooping on her and Lygus, or, you know, quote snooping, although all according to plan. I was like, yeah, no, this is a setup. This is absolutely a setup. And
oh, for sure.
Yeah, and it was well played. Also, I gotta say, 3.5 had some really fun NPCs. They had some really fun NPCs. Fucking Seneca and Labinas, and what were the other two? Virginia and Apollonio. Oh yeah, their titles. Fucking Situationship 1 and Situationship 2. I really enjoyed them. We also got to meet Human Aglaya once more, which fucking my heart.
Oh my god, I love Aglaya so much. This Aglaya needs to stay. Her personality is so much cuter.
She's so sweet. Her banter with Hycelins as well. My god.
If you manage to get through all those other patches without liking Aglaya, how do you not like her?
That had to be the one. Like she was so like full. She was so full of joy and full of whimsy. Also, the first time we meet Evernight, or well, we meet her jellyfish, and then we meet Evernight.
I want to talk about Ceridra's debut.
Oh yes.
Like, the first thing she does is she murders a guy.
Is kill a guy. What a power move.
That is the perfect thing for her character. I love the Candlehead Empress. It's like...
Such a fucking power move.
And then she murders Kindness, which is like, okay,
yeah,
I love this character.
And the
I
fucking,
love her now.
the Veni Vidi Vici, which in Japanese she did actually say that. Absolute banger. No, it was so good. That was a banger introduction. Meeting Hycelins in our/not our chamber and talking to her, and I feel like at that point already you kind of had a feeling that despite her loyalty to Ceridra and, you know, her carrying out her orders, you could tell that, like, she was not, like, there was something more going on with her. Like, she wasn't just blindly following. She did have her own opinions and thoughts on this that weren't quite on the exact same page as Ceridra's. But she was kind of just going along with it, which makes sense for her character because, like, really learning why she's Nihility.
Yeah, they made that one abundantly obvious.
Yeah, with, like, her not, like, always latching on to other people, always depending on someone else to guide her. Which, on that I will say, that section did drag on. The concept I liked. I do think it would have been better if they had at least given the sirens some sort of more original design. Even if just, like, different clothes or, I don't know, fucking just some scales, I don't fucking know. But I like the concept of it. I just think that it did drag on. They could have shortened it. But it did still do a good job at highlighting, like, Hycelins' character and her, very much, like, her dependency on Ceridra in pretty much everything until, you know, everything went down until the end. First time meeting Evernight, where she just snatches up Small Rini without Lygus even noticing.
I feel like that was good, though, because I feel like Lygus would have done something to her.
Absolutely, because, like, after that, like, he locks us in the Exomyth for a while, where Evernight saves us once more. And then it's 1,000 years later, and we have another, you know, a quote recap of what happened these past 1,000 years of Aglaya sacrificing herself, which, by the way, the way that Aglaya was, like, described, or Lygus planned for her to die, where he's like, I can't kill you, but all the raging Archimans, all the people that are like on your, they can do it for me, and I will enjoy every second of it. That was brutal.
Holy crap. Like, that was when I was like, wow, this guy is actually straight up evil. Like,
this guy does not give two fucks.
He's evil. Like, oh man. Like, he straight up said, I'm going to enjoy them literally cutting your chest open.
Yeah, dude.
Like, oh, okay, dude. Like,
all right, buddy. Yeah, we then get, like, to see, like, how all the Crisis heirs sacrifice themselves once again. Again, another, like, few small moments of seeing Cypher learn about Castris' plan, how Castris isn't coming back. And I don't know how, you know, I played in English, but the delivery of that line, the disbelief and kind of, like, fear at the realization that the Castris is gone, and, like, Cypher actually being able to work together with them this time. And just seeing Cypher interact with characters in general, because she hasn't had the chance to, stuck out to me, and I really love that we see how much Cypher actually cares and how she's more involved in that cycle. Mighty splitting himself into 5. Hello, Nikador. Welcome back, Nikador. Welcome back, Nias.
I think about this a lot, where it's like, because the only reason why the Dawn device was working is because of Cypher's lie. But I feel like Lygus told everyone about Cypher's lie, and that's why everything, like, fell apart. Because otherwise, the Dawn device should still be working. I feel like that's what turned the Occamans against the Chrysosayers. Because it's never really established at how Lygus got everyone to trust him.
That would actually make sense. Yeah, true.
But if he exposed the lie and Kefali actually fell apart, that would be...
That would make sense why.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Also, love the fact that, like... The fact that even in that cycle, when Phynon was already essentially not dead, but he was already, like, being merged by Iron Tomb, he was still resisting and holding back the Black Tide so that, like, some of the tragedies that occurred normally didn't happen. Mighty had both his parents in that cycle and grew up with his parents in that cycle because there was no Black Tide to corrupt European and make him go mad. Okay, because on topic of, like exposing Cypher's lies, I mean, he did fall for one of her lies for 50 years, for half a century.
That was a new one, yeah.
Yeah, and then the two of them conspiring with Anaxa just casually being like, I will transmute myself into a Philosopher's Stone, shatter me into pieces, and I'll just infiltrate the fucking code. Like, dude.
But I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
And I'm not gonna tell you why. You're gonna have to wait.
I like how Cypher and established that her and Anaxa were the least equipped Chrysosayers to fight things.
But they had the brains for it.
Because I'm like, because you would think, like, with Cypher's abilities, it's like she can make clones of herself, she can move at super fast speed, she should be a good fighter, but she's not. Speed
is, like, kind of it's most of what she has.
I think she's super duper fast, but her reaction time doesn't match her speed.
Man, that would be fair, yeah. And even then, like, if you, like, speed is one thing, but if you don't have the strength, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, the way all of them were, like, trying to, like, hold back Lygus, with Mighty quite basically, like, reprogramming himself to just lock the fuck in and chase down Lygus whenever he comes back. Like, just non-stop attack. Cypher and Anaxa successfully trapping him in the vortex, at least his physical form, which, like, I didn't think was gonna be possible, but alas, I stand corrected.
Yeah, Lygus is really a failure of a genius. Dr. Primitive's
absolutely
right. He really is.
Truly.
Herta would never.
Honestly, yeah, Herta would never. Lygus is way too cocky for his own good.
He really is. But I mean, sometimes I feel like he does fall into traps on purpose just to see what would happen.
I think that makes sense, yeah. On the other hand, I don't think it's very funny for the fragment that is supposed to represent paranoia to
Yeah. Okay, maybe he is just kind of stupid.
Yeah. Like, you'd think that he would like be extra cautious. But his hubris gets in the way. We meet back up with High Sealins, the BGM in that whole scene. Her singing, beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
Oh, when we go to the Vortex of Genesis, there's a little small tiny moment there where she's carrying us through the water.
Yeah.
And the Trailblazer starts to drown for a hot second, and then she gets worried and she's like, oh, and then she swims faster.
I never pieced that together. I was just like, okay, we're down here now, and then she just naturally speeds up. But actually, that would also make sense.
It's like, if you look really closely, that's actually what happened.
That would make sense. She's like, oh, right. You can't do what I can.
Yeah, the Trailblazer actually passes out. Like,
Lenny, you're right. The OG Xandar, from the beginning, he was doomed because Bro made a computer to solve the universe, essentially, and then didn't predict that it was going to do exactly that. And he's like, wait, actually, I don't. Wait, I know I told you to do this, but I kind of don't want that now.
Xandar is mad at Noose for being too good at its job.
Kind of, yeah. I think Xandar, all in all, like, as smart and intelligent as he is, he's also, like, kind of short-sighted and just too arrogant. His creation of Noose was basically, go do this thing, it does the thing, it does even better than expected, and he's like, wait, backtrack, I don't actually want this. Whoops. And now I'm blaming you for it.
Hey, go learn everything. Why are you learning everything?
Exactly. There we
Oh,
go.
right. Herta appears in Screw'em to
Yeah.
combat Lygus, and we start to learn who he is. We know that
Yep.
he knows that he's a society member now.
I unfortunately got leaked on that. Sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think this was also the patch that Herta pseudo disproved my theory, where because this whole time I had been saying that Rupert was going to be a part of the Scepter.
And she was like,
I
that's
said
boring.
that so many times. She was like, that's boring. I was like, how dare you? I was so mad. But then she ended up becoming Iron Tomb, and I'm like, ha!
You know what? Close enough.
There is a timeline where I was right. I don't care.
Let's see. Then we have the Lygus boss fight with... Look, I did not expect that boss OST for Lygus, not gonna lie. I expected something like orchestra or like choir, not fucking like EDM disco music.
We finally get it dropped that Cyrene's a memo sprite, and Herta starts getting her suspicions about her.
For the longest time, this has been really in my mind. When they revealed that, and Herta was like, if the Trailblazer like ever forgets about Cyrene, like her existence, she would be gone. Like because her existence is like directly tied to the Trailblazer, and Cyrene going, but that's already happened. And for the longest time, I was like, what do you mean that's already happened? I'm still kind of wondering what's up with that, actually.
It's like, I don't know. I don't really know why she says that.
Yeah, like that.
Maybe it's because she's referencing that the first Cyrene is gone.
Maybe. Like
she's already experienced being erased. Not that the Trailblazers erased her or like forgotten about her, but it's the fact that she's experienced erasure before.
Maybe that was like a phrasing thing. By the way, speaking of like the right before we entered the vortex and like the end of that whole High Sealand section, can I just say how like when we stood there and we like paid our respects to the Chrysos heirs, right? The fucking audacity of Lygus to stand there with us and offer his condolences as well. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, you don't care.
Like, you give two fucks.
I expected him more just to say something like, why are you mourning Data?
Yeah, no, but he was like, no, I shall mourn them with you. I'm like, the nerve, the sheer audacity of that bitch.
Lygus just finds new ways to rage bait you. Like,
absolutely.
He really does.
And I feel like he doesn't even intend to a lot of the time. Like, that's just how he is.
I like to think that he does.
But at least sometimes, probably. Yeah, at least sometimes.
He provokes people.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Lygus boss fight with unexpected but banger music. Then we overload his ass with constant memory input. Lygus and Cyrene and the geniuses have their little chat where they're like, by the way, you're gonna stay here for a little bit. We're gonna have a little chat. We're gonna talk for a little bit. And then at the end we had more of Ceridra and High Sealants, where they, said their goodbyes in a not quite so peaceful manner. We have High Sealants killing Ceridra. We have a little flashback of Cyrene and Ceridra. Can I just say, it makes sense, because Ceridra is smart and she kind of thinks in a similar vein. Props to Ceridra for calling out the IPC's bullshit frame 1. Where, like, she introduced as, like, she's like, oh, big space corporation that specializes in trade. Yeah, I call bullshit.
They're evil. Yeah, they're evil.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'm like, yes.
Thank
I love you, Ceridra. Never change.
Immediate bonus points.
I like that she also liked Sunday. Like,
yeah,
it makes perfect sense why Ceridra of all people would like Sunday.
Yeah, like she understood where he was coming from, and like she changed his mind and grow from it as well. Very, very interesting.
It's also because law is order. Like, that's what her path is supposed to be. The reason why Cyrene takes Ceridra on this journey is because this scene happens when the Trailblazer's gone. This happens like during the 1,000 years before Ceridra sacrifices herself. And this is like, I feel like this is the scene before she goes into the vortex.
Yeah.
So basically what Cyrene's trying to do is gain her trust one last time.
Even Ceridra was like, I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to sway me. And it's working. I still love the scene when we say when we quote say goodbye to the heirs and we make our way to Styxia with Hyacinth and everything, and like everyone fades away in their home place and you have Mighty staring up at Kevili. Still, I think that's a really nice scene. And I still think it's kind of ironic that the one timeline where Mighty was actually able to grow up in a healthy, like with a healthy family and grow up safely is the one timeline where he has no equal, where Phynon is gone. He doesn't, like, they don't even meet because Phynon is, well, gone. And actually, did we have a Phynon at all in that cycle? Or, like, did we have tiny Phynon just growing up normally in Eyes Elysiae, or did he just not exist at all?
All of this happens before he's born.
Right! I forget that they're all, that's like the 1,000-year thing. Because they all get, like, a lot of them, like, they always get, like, born at, like, different times most of the time.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same recurrence. Right.
It's like, Mighty isn't even there when, like, we never meet Mighty in the cycle. Because,
Right,
like, Mighty and
yeah.
Phynon are the same age.
I still think that's, ironic, but also kind of sad. That, like, it's one thing in exchange for another. Saridra asking for a page from, like, a memory page of the Scalewatch Waterscape for Saridra, a page of the ocean, a piece of the ocean. So sweet.
Yeah.
So fucking sweet.
And poor Hysolins is just so nihility. She's like, I don't even know if this is what I wanted.
Yeah, I never asked for this. I don't even know if this is my wish. And then at the very end of 3.5, we
get Polka's
Evernight.
drop. Oh wait. Evernight. Hold on. I was thinking about like, this is. Before that happens, Xandar and the Exo myth, where the geniuses have infiltrated. That happens.
Right, there we do get a little polka drop. Right. And after that, we have Danhong and Evernight meeting, which, if I recall correctly, that's on the way back to the Express, right? As Danhong makes his way back. Yeah. Took me a while to like get my timeline straight there.
She's actually protecting him here, because otherwise the memo snatchers would have attacked him.
Yeah, and there is what I mean by when I pointed out the callback earlier. The what was the first thing Danhong said to us when he parted the waters? Which is the same thing he asked us in 3.1 to, like, identify the Trailblazer. And in that moment, very dramatic, very tense. But also the very idea of Danhong being like, you're not March 7th. She wouldn't remember that.
That's so good. Because she wouldn't.
She doesn't have the brain power to remember that.
I mean, who does?
Fair. I mean, the Trailblazer did, and he was like, yep, that's mine.
That's only because I looked back at it and tracked down that scene to see if the Trailblazer didn't say anything. I was like, wait, Trailblazer didn't actually say anything.
See,
I was talk to everyone as NPCs. You can't talk to the Trailblazer.
I was a scene. I didn't remember it. I was like, just kill me already. I don't fucking know. Just kill me. And I felt like that in itself would have been a convincing enough answer, because he was like, yeah, they'd say that. Let's see. Anything else for 3.5? I think that's it. So where do we put it?
Minor complaints.
Honestly, I do think it was better than 3.2 for sure. And it did make me, even though I still think that both of their characters were a little rushed just to the nature of their characters, like being introduced so late. I did like them, and I did grow to respect Saridra's character a lot. Throughout 3.5. People were calling, I also like people talking about that on Twitter, like calling Aglaya a morally gray character when Saridra came in and was like, nope, this is how it's done.
Let me show you what morally gray is.
Yeah.
I like that Oryx's prophecy was listened to here instead of Kephales's. That's such an underrated detail.
Yeah,
because that means Evernight drove the entire events of this.
True. Maybe we'll put it in between, and like they're around equal in different ways, I feel like.